to say hemp, because everybody associated with marijuana. That job that the drug war was really done thoroughly to a lot of our elderly people, and they believed it. And so we had to overcome that just amongst our own community and amongst our own relatives. But it was really no problem because of family. We all stuck together, so we didn't really have too much problems. And but one of the hardest times was when they actually came. It was just impossible to think that they would come. And I was just acting normal. I mean, like it was nothing. There was no criminal. They're having a hard time making me look like a criminal because I'm a leader of my family. But we never even expected it. That was something that wasn't just in our vocabulary. They're gonna come. They're gonna bring guns. They're gonna scare the living daylights out of you. And we never expected that. That was just the hardest thing for us to encounter. And me, I was in the infantry. I was military trained. I went in the army because I wanted to learn something, and all I did was learn how to kill people, and it was kind of opposite what I really wanted. But I know what it feels like to have a gun, and I know how to use one, and I know how deadly that bullet could be. And here, when I was coming down here, my little brother called me at 6:01, and he said, "Upelo," just one word, "Upelo." That means they're attacking or they're coming, Upelo means they're here now. So the first thing in my mind was, oh no, it takes about a minute and a half if you go 60 from the road to get up to the house. So, being the infantry trained, plus a natural born survivor, I jumped in the shower and I was in and out of there, toothbrush shaved, and I don't know why I wanted to go to the jail clean. It didn't make sense to me, either, but I did it anyway. And then I put coffee on, but I forgot to hit the on switch, so it was a waste of 5 minutes there. And so I waited, and I finally got my coffee, and I came down, and that's when there was 5 agents standing on the road, and on each road, agents were just parked vehicles, 2-3 vehicles each, and they had their M15s and the bulletproof vest, and it was really confusing because there was an airplane flying around here, and pretty soon another one came, so we had 2 airplanes flying above here, and a helicopter that would just hover all up and down the roads. And then I seen that bigger airplane take off south. So I said, oh, there goes Tom Cook. They're going to raid him. And here they attacked him at the same time. They attacked me over here. And it was just my brother and I and my sister Rita. She lived at the trailer house right at the gate of the hemp field. And she was home with all the kids alone. And as soon as the police surrounded them, they all ran for the back room, locked the back door, and they didn't leave no escape route, They kind of thought it over later, and they said, darn, we should have barricaded the hallway or something, But they were all here, and it was really it was impossible to believe. I mean, we were just in shock. But I think Percy was running. And see, our goal was Percy and I was going to get into the hemp field, and then that's when we was going to fight our way out. And that was our goal. But first, the plan was we had to fight from the inside out. And because it looked funny, I was trying to fight to get into the hemp field, to make us look a little bit more shadier, So for some reason, we just wanted to get in, and so that was our goal. And so Percy was running, and there were 6 agents running behind him. And it was about even, the foot race, And until Percy hit a stick and he tripped, and they were on him. And there was 5 in front of me. And every time I would take a step, they kind of kept in front of me like a wall. And so it was real crazy. And then I knew what was going on because of all my past training, So, boy, I was hoping somebody had a camera, because I'd go like this, you know, and they'd all kind of jump and kind of, you know, and jump over here, kind of jump over here, you know, but they kept in front of me, and I know they felt foolish, you know, 'cause I sure felt foolish, you know. But I couldn't get into the hemp field, and they had Percy. They had his arms some ways, and they were marching back towards where I was. And so we got close together, so they all were in line. And there was really nothing we could do except we would kind of take 2 jumps this way and 2 jumps this way, and we'd gain about a foot, you know. And so we kept it up, and it was real. Then the U.S. Attorney, Mark Vargo, he looked towards my sister's trailer house, and he said, I could feel the phone lines humming. And he looked up over to the high ridge. And I think he was imitating that movie they made. Remember Russell Means and that tribe? And they surrounded them at the casino, and here the Indians surrounded the Freds, and they actually held them hostages until they got to the casino. And he was looking up at the hills, and his eyes kind of went in a glaze. And I looked at Percy, and I said, you know what? This guy's a dangerous person, you know, to see the way his eyes just, and it looked like a mask went over his eyes. And so I looked at him, I said, you know what? I said, I want to go to jail with my hemp. That's why we want to get in there. And you're just standing here in front of us. And he said, I'm sorry, Mr. White Plume. We can't incarcerate you. So once I heard that, boy, I sure got tougher with someone. And I looked him right in the eye and says, well, how can I go to jail with the least amount of time? I said, if I kicked you in the shin, would that be kind of minor? And he looked at me, he says, please, Mr. White Plume, please don't kick me in the shin. And so I kind of went like this, and he just kind of went weak, you know. And so I knew they were under instructions from higher up not to arrest us. And that was really strange. And I looked at Percy, and he said in Lakota, he says, hey, big brother, I'll take these 5, you take those 5. And so I looked at him, and I kind of looked up over the hill too, just in case that U.S. attorney seen something I didn't see, you know. But our relatives, we were all come back from Sundances around then, and it's hard to get up and get motivated. And just Percy and I were the only ones here with all those agents. And but that was the strangest thing, was when they didn't arrest us. They should have done that. It makes us look like we're getting preferential treatment. People from the state say things like that. But the hardest thing for me was to see my daughter look at me. And you know, I'm healing from this. Maybe it's good I'm talking about it so I could get it out of my hair, but get it out of my system. I used to get in front of crowds and just talk and talk. But since this happened, I just break down every time.
I love you, Dad.
But the hardest part was the helplessness I felt to protect my land, protect my family, protect what I declare as my territory. And it was just totally invaded, and it just made me feel totally helpless. And I never had that feeling all my life. All my life, our family's been together. We live, we survive. And that was a total state of helplessness I felt. There was an M15 about a foot from my face right here. And they told me to halt 3 times, real loud, you know. And that has an impact on a guy's soul. When they holler that word, halt, halt, halt. That's just, you know, and looking at that gun, I mean, I was military trained, but that's still the impact of that. Those 3 words were just in my mind. And one of these days, I want to get revenge on that agent. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I have to get over it. I have to get over it. And thanks for listening to me, because I guess maybe I kind of got it out of my system. I cried in front of a whole bunch of people. Damn, you guys don't tell on me, you know. I don't want the feds to think I'm weak, you know. The feds can't think I'm weak. I gotta just stand there, you know. So, but
Just get stronger now.
yeah. and I was gonna give it up. My wife and I were sitting there. She was sewing, and was home all by ourselves out to the house. It was just peaceful and quiet, and we didn't even hear a car pull up. And when we're alone, we usually don't have no radios or TVs or anything on. I usually sing for my wife, you know. I have a good voice, you know, and I'm a good singer, you know. So. And here the door, there was a real light knock on the door, and so I kind of jumped up and looked, and here's Tom Belanco, you know, big and tall, and just always smiling, walking in. You know, I always have that image of him. And here he came with Julie Butterfly, and we were just shocked that they would come here. And some words Julie said still really make me feel good. She says, you know, I have to thank you because you're going to save the trees. And by saving the trees, you're going to save the world. And so that was really cool of Julie. And it wasn't too long they stayed. They just stopped and they left. But those words are real lasting. Because me, I wasn't trying to save the whole world. I'm just trying to save me and my family, you know. So that kind of threw me for a loop for a while. But my morale was down. And we were actually going to say, Percy, my little brother, was the threat of going to jail. It was kind of overpowering him. And well, my sister Ramona, she said, shit, I'm going to jail. They have no business coming here, you know. And she just walk in, and me and Percy would just glare at her, you know, because we already were in it, you know. And so, but Tom was really a big, always there, you know. Just I'd look at him and I'd scratch my head, and he does some strange things, that Tom Belanco, you know, just totally, I mean, one time he took a bunch of hemp plants up to the barn, and he cut them in long lengths, and he put a coffee can in there, and he was draining the milk, you know, and he figured it out, and he drank milk, and I watched that, and I said, gee, that's amazing. And he took a scissor one time, and he cut up all the hemp stalks in little pieces, and he fried them and ate them, and I said, geez, I says, more to hemp than just the oil and fiber, you know, you could eat it too. But that first year was really bizarre. I never did do anything totally illegal. On January 3rd, I called the U.S. attorney, and I invited him to come down. I said, we're going to plant in May, and we want you to come down, and it's legal, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And you know what, the U.S. attorney, he agreed with me. And he said, no matter how his personal feelings were, the letter of the law has to run its course. And so I said, well, you should read that law, because we found that on section 18, there's a 23 in front of it. If you read that, if any enrolled member of any Indian tribe wants to grow marijuana, all they have to do is call the DEA, and in there it says they shall issue a permit. It doesn't say nobody has to apply or anything. So even in the Controlled Substance Act, the rules, they don't follow their own rules that they make. I heard somebody, Eric, say that they're making them obey the rules, and it's really a shame that, you know, we have to do that. But still, all in all, it seems like that struggle of just 3 years just went by like this, and all you people here today just really raised my spirits, and my ego got big one time, you know, here. But my wife, she don't let that stay too long, you know. Puts me right in my place. But I thank you very much for that video, Deb, and I want to see that again. And I think I guess maybe I always say to do that, but ask questions, because I just feel so good, and I just want to thank everybody for coming. And I'd like to ask any member of my family if you guys would like to say something, and I guess we should wind her down tonight. And then I'd like to ask Debbie to kind of close us out. So